Hi, it's Dr. Brian Lee at Aspire Plastic Surgery for part two of weight management and food demystified. The first level, we talked about nutrition and why we need the nutrients. The second level, we're going to focus on suppression and digestion. So after we've ingested that food, what happens? What happens if we consume too many calories? So even with the abundant nutrients that we had discussed in the last video, if we eat too many calories, then we automatically come back down pathway B. It overwhelms our system that doesn't need any more energy and converts that to fat. So what we're going to do now is come here and talk about suppression of the food. There are multiple ways to do this. The first is to choose specific foods that cause early or lasting satiety. In other words, it helps you feel full for longer periods of time. A couple of those foods are proteins. Proteins are really good at giving the body what it needs and suppressing the appetite. Fiber is the same way. Let's start talking about suppression. If you ingest over 3,500 calories above what your metabolic rate is, that will add 1 pound of adipose or fat tissue onto your body. So suppression is very crucial. Another way, as I just mentioned, is to avoid those simple carbohydrates. Simple meaning like straight sugars or complex carbohydrates like the flours and the breads that get broken down into simple carbohydrates. We want more of the foods with the nutrients that are nutrient dense. A third aspect is to eat a healthy breakfast. As we mentioned previously, we want to get these nutrients in the morning so they're available all day long as we ingest more calories to convert this to energy. But there are also studies that show those that eat a healthy, nutrient-dense breakfast tend to eat less calories throughout the rest of the day. Another way is exercise. We know that exercise is great for our body. It burns those calories down here to create energy. It mobilizes the fat into energy, but also we know that when you exercise routinely, you tend to eat less and consume fewer calories. Now, you don't have to go run a marathon. Just get up, get active, start slowly. Small steps is what makes the difference. So it's consistency over time where you're going to see the biggest physical results. Other ways to suppress the appetite are to supplement with herbs and teas and other botanical products. Green tea is great at giving the body antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, but it also helps suppress appetite. Even certain essential oils, like grapefruit essential oil, has been scientifically proven to help decrease appetite and subsequently help with weight loss. The last suggestion I have is a botanical that I was just introduced about 2 months ago, and it's called Fix. This is a product from the mature hops flower based on the bitter acids that are part of that process. So we know hops, right? Hops from beer. What we know is from approximately 70 years ago, about 1/3 of the people that were drinking beer were losing weight. Once they did the scientific investigation, there was a component, the gamma component of the bitter acids, that actually physiologically does some amazing things to help your body decrease ingestion of food, calories, but increases digestion, and it helps to burn fat. There's a long story behind the Fix of why it isn't a prescription drug, but we don't want to get into that. What I want to tell you is this is a natural product that cannot be replicated and made into a prescription drug. The way this works is the bitter acids stimulate the taste receptors on your tongue. The curious thing is this has no flavor, it's odorless, tasteless, and you have no idea you've ingested it until the bitter receptors get stimulated, send signals to your brain by the vagus nerve, which then says, we have just ingested poison. We need to clamp down the stomach, cordon this poison off, and we need to kill it and digest it and throw all the stomach acids at it, and then we'll protect ourselves. So what then occurs is the pylorus, which is the little muscle coming out of the end of the stomach after the food's been digested and allows us to go through the small intestine. It tells that to clamp down and don't open up. The body then increases its digestive juices. And to do that, it needs energy. So it starts burning fat, thermogenesis. And subsequently, this thermogenic process happens for up to 9.5 hours. Curiously, after a couple hours, the body realizes that it did not, in fact, ingest a poison that's going to kill it. So that pylorus starts to open up. But with the increased gastric digestion, that food is now so much more digested into the smaller particles, so the small intestine can begin to absorb that. The other curious thing is when the pylorus closes and you have the increased gastric acids, the stomach feels full. You feel satiated, so you don't eat as much. The fun fact about this and how we consume it is you just put a single drop into any beverage that you're drinking. It can be your water in the morning, your tea, your coffee, or it could be in your beer in the evening. It doesn't matter what liquid it is. You won't taste it. It doesn't change the flavor of your drink, and it works through the body's natural physiologic processes. So that's how we can suppress intake, but also increase digestion that helps our body function and do all of these processes that we need it to do. If you'd be interested to try this Mature Hops bitter acid extract, just check the link below and it'll take you to the exact site where I get mine. Thank you.